Thank you for turning to page 121.
Welcome back to page 121. Today I want to talk about a very little known group of a travel licensee that was only around for a very short time called Group 1. As you can see, I have the excellent Port Xanateth pirate hideout pinned up on the wall behind me. Little bit of I'll go into a little bit of interesting information. There's very little to be found about Group 1. They had about 15 products. Uh, so it was a little hard to find any real information on them. But before I go into that, just a quick life story. Uh, while I was filming, I took a break and I went to the McDrive-thru to get some McLunch. And I pulled up to the window, and the woman, instead of telling me what I owed, said the car ahead of me had paid for me. That was the first time I've ever had that happen. It made me feel pretty good. So I went ahead and I paid for the car behind me. So there you go. Sometimes people can be people. And just wanted to share what was a happy story. Made me feel very good. I obviously still feel good. So when you can, do something kind for a stranger. Uh, People notice, and it can make their day. So this certainly made mine. So back to the point at hand. Group 1, a traveler licensee. I'm going to go ahead and show some of the products. I don't have everything this group produced. And I'm going to go into a little bit of the history and the background of this particular group. Again, not much to be found, but I'll be right back with the information. Okay, we're back. Here is a clean shot of Port Xanateth, the cover. I'm going to float up here to the map. I like this map a lot. I have a special place in my heart for this particular module. Uh, my DM of Traveler in the early 80s had it, and this is not his copy. This one I acquired later, but we were in it quite a bit, so this is kind of an old stomping ground for me. As you can see, the covers were not exactly professional grade. The typeset, pretty standard 80s typeset. One thing about Group 1 is a lot of their stuff felt more like a dungeon crawl than anything else, and that was very common in the early 80s. D&D was the only real benchmark anybody had, so a lot of products for other games, and this would include like Villains and Vigilantes, Traveler, Gamma World, it tended to follow the dungeon crawl mentality, just because it was kind of what we all knew. This particular one, Port Xanateth, came out in 1980. The information I could find on Group 1 was that they only existed from 80 to 81. They put out about 15 supplements. Dorothy Bledsaw is listed as the prime mover behind it. Now, Bob Bledsaw was the publisher of Judges Guild, so I don't know. His mother is in his Wikipedia thing is listed as mother's name is Dorothy. I wonder if Dorothy Bledsaw was in fact his daughter, or if this was just an attempt to spin off another line in conjunction with Judges Guild, where he put it under another family member's name. I have no idea. If anybody knows, please comment below. I'd love to know. I could not find much information at all about the Group 1 company. So basically, I'm just going to show the couple that I do have. There are Sapes, that's another traveler adventure. Mission to Zephyr. Now, these were a little pricier than a lot of what was being offered then. This was $7, but they did come in a Ziploc bag and had the nice maps inside. I want to show one thing. In my last travel, or not my last, but one of my traveler videos, I talk about how I went to Royal Hobby in Rockford, Illinois, and happened to cross a bunch of closeout stuff on Traveler. I got this particular one for $1. That was back in the 80s. The hobby store is still there. I have no idea. I haven't been there since that day. I have no idea if they have role playing or not. But as I said in the last video, help them out if you can, if you're local. Here's another product, Nithis. So you get the idea. These were interesting. I don't think they were even really to Judges Guild's level of professionalism overall. I think the maps, this is the map that came with Lamodo, which is, there's the world map for Lamodo, which I'm going to show in a moment. this just looked very much like it was just kind of a home press situation. And I don't have a problem with that. I actually have a soft spot in my heart for that. There's Lamoto 4, sorry. And this deluxe, the other one I have. These are all Traveler Adventure supplements. And again, dungeon crawls for the most part. They did some world building. But even at that, old Traveler hands know that even back then, a Traveler Planet could feel like a dungeon crawl. As I've noted before, it's amazing that you can play D&D and stay in one world, or maybe in an alternate dimension now and again. We stay primarily on one world, and you're there forever. Yet in Traveler, you feel cramped if you don't have an entire map of all these different globes you can travel to. So, kind of an interesting paradox there. Hydronaut's an interesting product. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up here. This was interesting in that it tried to take the Traveler out of space a little bit and bring him underwater. Tried to deal with underwater rules. Everybody thinks that a spaceship can just go underwater. Well, there's no real pressure in space. There is pressure as you go deeper underwater. So a ship that could be okay in outer space isn't necessarily okay once it gets underwater. Hydronaut deals with that a little bit. And considering this is published 80 to 81, it was pretty advanced thinking for the day. So I like these books quite a bit. Other than Port Xanatath that I was a player in, I've never run any of them. I have read them. They're fun reads of an era gone by, and I will always hang on to them for that. But that's it. I mean, these are just fun to have. I didn't even buy these when they were out. Port Xanatath was the only one that I was involved with when it was new, and that was through my GM at the time when I was first introduced to Traveler in 1981. So these others I was able to acquire in the late 80s on a closeout. These are available only on, I found one on Amazon for about $30. And then if you go on eBay, you can find them periodically. I typed in Group 1 Traveler and found quite a few. And they command wildly differing prices. I found one for $13 and the exact same one on another listing that sold for about $40. So some of the listings are ridiculous, $70, $80 each for these. If you want them to complete your collection, absolutely, and they are great fun. But I won't be paying $80 to fill up my collection. I have not found these available as PDFs anywhere. If you do find them, if you do know of a place that there are legal PDFs of these, please let me know. I'd be very interested personally in just getting my hands on the rest. But they are not on the Far Future Enterprises site that I could find, nor are they available through DriveThruRPG. So just a little look at a Traveler licensee a lot of folks might not have heard of. Group 1, I love you. They were only around about a year and a half, and the little blurb I was able to find about Dorothy Bledsaw said that she was an employee of Judges Guild, published from 80 to 81 as a travel licensee with Group 1. Group 1 folded in 81, and many of the people who were with Group 1 went back to working for Judges Guild. So I don't know if that was a little infighting going on, or if it was just an attempt to spin off another line through Judges Guild. I have no idea. Again, if you know the history of this, I'd be very interested in finding out. So please, if you can link any articles that would direct me in that, point me in that direction, that'd be great. Or if you personally have information that you want to append to this video, I'd be really interested in finding out. So that's all I've got today for page 121. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy what you saw. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Well, that closes the book on another episode of page 121. Please leave your comments below, and if you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.